Hello, everybody. This is Becky with Lane County Library. I'm here with Chef Cheryl again. She's going to do something a little bit different tonight. She's going to talk about one of the things she does where she goes into people's homes and prepares meals and stuff. And I'm excited to hear about that because that sounds wonderful. So, Cheryl, are you ready?
I'm totally ready.
Okay, well, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, hey. All right, so when I say I'm a private chef, people give me this look all the time, like, what does that even mean, right? Especially in Saline County. Well, to be honest with you, what it means is that I went to culinary school, and I possess a certain type of skills. I possess a certain kind of certifications, and I use them to make my living. Now, this is not for everybody. I'm going to tell you that. You have to love people. You have to want to feed people. You have to really want to hang out with people. You have to value their input and be able to take criticism, which not everybody in the world is great at. It's very... on occasion, it can really tweak your ego because you know that your food is good. You can know your food is good. You can know your food was a hit wherever else you used to work. You can know that your food has gotten really great reviews. You can know a million zillion people have enjoyed dining with you in the past, right? But what really matters and what can be really hard for people is the opinion of a family. Now, I am quite fortunate that I set a standard that I pick and choose who I work for. I pick and choose. I have a day where I come, the very first day, and I meet you, and I say, hi, it's nice to meet you. We go over this really lengthy, very cool list of questions I have as to your likes and your dislikes, your children's possibilities of allergies, your weight loss goals if you have any. And that very first day, what I do is I cook you a meal out of your own cabinet. And sometimes I tell them what I'm going to make them. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just kind of walk in there and I say, you hungry? Let me just cook for you. And by looking in people's cabinets and their fridges and by this pretty careful actual set of questions I have, I learn a lot about people. I learn what you don't tell people. I learn your secrets.
Uh-oh, I think we lost Cheryl. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. We'll give it just a minute. See if I can get her back. Let's see. Let me see if I can text her real quick. I'm sorry. Let me do that. But I am excited to know what those questions are. So let's see if I can get her back. Let's see. Leave. Because I'm not sure. Oh, there she is. So, yay.
So okay. What I was saying was I learned where you hide the chocolate. I learned exactly where your stash is and exactly what your stash of sweet stuff is. I learn if your spices are fresh. That very first day, I learn just from little stuff that people don't even always pick up on. I learn who they are as a person. All right, so at this point in the day, I have to tell you, I have been going very hard at it for quite a while today. First, I had to establish this area, which, they were kind enough to provide me with ample counter space finally, and I've got very nice appliances to deal with right now. So I've been going at this for a little while, and this is the second time I've done the service for this family. The first time, again, was very. When I talk about that one, I summed it up as this first service tested my gangster. um, People can say they're tough all they want and stuff, and they could say, they can handle anything in the whole world. But when I did this service last time, I did a service for them. It was in a camper because they're working on their greenhouse, right? And right now, I'm not in a greenhouse yet, but I'm in a space that they made sure to find for me with a good amount of room to move instead of a very tiny stove setup that I had last time. In my memoirs one day, I will tell all of the stories of all of my misadventures, but they're not misadventures really technically, because I usually have a pretty good time in the end. But they start with things like, and then I got a phone call one day. Well, I got a phone call one day. When you meal prep for a family, you have to take serving size into mind and whatnot. And if you're used to working in a large kitchen space, it's not necessarily going to carry over. If you're used to working with industrial stuff, that's not necessarily going to carry over. Just like when you get in the field as a chef, it doesn't necessarily carry over if you're a really good home cook. One of the things I'm working on right now is I'm going to start some really yummy French onion soup. It's not a big deal, French onion soup. It sounds like a big deal. It sounds really fancy, but the trick is to caramelize the onions first. You got to caramelize those onions very, very well. So I got lucky. I got some nice shiny pots and pans, some new ones today. This stove being new to me is so the stove is new to me. It's an electric stove. I haven't worked too hard on one of those. What we're gonna do is I've turned the pan up on high, and I'm not gonna move you guys too much from this window to show you just yet, because I want this to heat up. As you can see, I just got some olive oil in the bottom of my pan. Can you see? Wait for it. You can see. So I just coat the bottom of this pan with some olive oil. I got that burner up, turned up real good. And I've cut my onion. Very thin. Remember when we talked about julienne and stuff? So I've cut my onion very thin. It's just to cut the onion in half and then little bitty strips. And you just follow the line of the onion. It's a very convenient cut for this. It's not a big deal. Goes really fast. I've got one, so we can walk over and we can get another. You can mix white onion and red onion when you make French onion soup, just so long as you are happy. It's about your flavor profile that you choose. I make my French onion soup without alcohol. A lot of people put a little bit in there. I make my French onion soup with juice stuff from today. I made lots of baked chicken breast, right? Okay, so I was telling you, onion in half. Let's see if we can put you on the little tripod stand. Let's see if I put the little tripod stand so you can see. Oh, this is going to be a fun one for you guys. I'm so sorry. Please don't get dizzy. All right, let's see if we can make it so you see.
Well, Cheryl, I have a question.
Yes,
do you put your French onion soup, does it have a lot of the melted cheese on top? That's one of my favorites.
This one doesn't, because it's going to be for a diet. But yes, you put some melted Gruyere on that bad boy, you've got some yummy, yummy soup, right? Melted melted cheese and croutons, I think make everything in life.
Yes, of course. A cheese
Guys, I'm
and
so
some
sorry.
croutons.
This
Yeah.
works
Oh, you're
way,
fine.
this works way better than me. Right? Okay, so I've got a good hot pan. I'm gonna toss all of these lovely onions in. And it doesn't have to be a pot where you got a little bit of, it could be a flat to start and you can transfer to a pot. But I just sort of do it all in one and don't fuss with it too hard. All right. Now, I'm just going to set that on my burner and I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to let it do its thing. I'm going to let it start caramelizing. On the back of my stove, I have pasta noodles going. I'm going to have to take you around and show you some of the other stuff I've done. Because that's the trick, is that I've got variety for this family.
Well, Cheryl, I had somebody comment on Facebook. It's from Catherine Burke. She says, "Hi, Cheryl. I didn't know you were doing this."
Well, hi, Catherine. That's awesome. Not a lot of people seem to quite know yet. I've been doing it for a couple of good years, but right here after we had the whole COVID thing, obviously, kind of wasn't in demand, right? Kind of not something in demand right now. But as we go through these months, people have found the value of eating at home and eating a little better and taking good care of your family together. So I have lucked out, you know. I've gotten to have a chance to feed various kinds of people I didn't necessarily have a market for before. There we go. Now, in our bowl, and I promise you guys I will give you these recipes. These are just ones that are just kind of nifty recipes that I don't necessarily share all the time. But once I find them and I tweak them and I make them mine, you know. All right, so this recipe is for my pork meatballs. They're just ground pork meatballs. They've got salt, pepper. I've got onions and bell pepper. I diced very fine. I've sauteed them down. And then I toss a couple of eggs. I don't really like using breadcrumbs when I'm making meatballs and such, from a dietary standpoint and whatnot. And I just don't think you need it for the flavor. Unless something adds flavor, I don't usually fuss with it. I've got some sesame oil. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let that pan in the front warm up. And all I'm doing is tossing the onions. You don't have to toss them. You don't have to toss them like that. You can stir them. I just toss them. It's habit, right? So I've got, because I have sesame seeds in here, I'm going to put just a little of the sesame oil in it. And I'm going to cook it in the sesame oil. You know, if I can get it to open, that would be very nifty. I had an interesting day, you guys. But I have to say I accomplished a lot. And I'm so glad that I still got to hang out with y'all despite it. All right, so Bob, we got toasted sesame oil. We're trying to see this kicking. Now, look, when some people say you're caramelizing onions, they're going to add sugar to it. Don't add sugar to caramelize onions. Don't add sugar to caramelize onions. Don't add sugar to caramelize onions. Don't do it. No. 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 All right. Now, our little pork meatball.
Say no to sugar.
That's right. Say no to the sugar because you're not actually caramelizing them. You're candying them, and that's disgusting. All right. So our little pork meatball. For the binder's sake, if you want to have perfect little balls, you use more eggs to the pork ratio, blah, blah, blah. Because this little family is going to be warming us up, even if I have perfect little pork meatball, which, maybe I'll work for, it may or may not hold up. So you can use some ice cream soup if you do happen to have one. I don't today.
I like that idea of using an ice cream scoop. That way they kind of come out consistent.
Yes, that's how you make a good meatball. So as you can see, I have some green beans in the back. And these are fresh green beans, so if you boil them, or if you blanch them, and then you use them, it works the best. I like to cook them down real hard and then use them. And, comes out pretty good. All right, so my porky bowl, I'm still eating. Check out the color on our, check out the color on our onion. We're getting there, all right? We're not there yet. We still gotta let it go.
They're starting to look good.
Don't get nervous, okay? You're gonna be like, oh no, I'm totally gonna burn it. No, you're not. You're not gonna burn your onion. And if you get a little bit dark, it's okay because that adds to the flavor of your dish. You're really done. All right, my pan, my dumpling stuff. And you know what? This is my idea of stuff that goes in like an actual like pork dumpling with the wonton wrapper around it. But a lot of people miss Asian food and whatnot when they're on diets because they don't think around. It's, well, they miss ethnic food period because they don't think around the options. And there's always options. Just get the wonton wrapper, right? Just get the wonton wrapper. It's okay. There we go. All right, so this one's kind of awkward. I'm gonna come on this side, and I just kind of I think just a little bit, a little bit at a time. And I wish I had an ice cream scoop. It would make this so much more efficient. But we're not broadcasting from where we're usually broadcasting from. We're broadcasting from Ryan, Arkansas, and having a very good time with it. But it is definitely not where we're usually broadcasting from. So.
I would think it's kind of difficult to cook in someone else's kitchen.
That is part of the challenge. And I've done this long enough now that when I go to regular kitchens for a job, I say, I could pretty much work anywhere, right? And they give you a look, and I'm like, no, I don't think you can understand. I don't think you understand. I can walk in anywhere, and if I've got some basics, you have some really good food. It doesn't mean it does. We're gonna take it even closer to the camera. You see the bottom down here? Trying to get a little charry edges. Guys. All right, just a couple more minutes on that one. My pork dumpling, we're just gonna call that a day, and it's gonna be a porky slow. Which just because the person I'm working for is so great, it'll be all right. All right, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see if we can flip our camera. Let's see if we can flip our camera real quick. Oh no, we may not be able to flip our camera. Okay, guys. We're gonna have a look over here. Look, all right.
Oh,
so I was
that was
about,
yummy.
Yes. Okay. So the important part right here of meal prepping for somebody is customization, right? So over here, let me see if I can do this a less awkward way, but I don't know. It's very awkward. It's all very awkward. Oh no. Okay. So for a healthy, so this is also the healthy carrot, and then I'm going to candy it for the other option, which will be, for the family. And then over here, I have roasted potatoes. I have roasted sweet potatoes. I have, oh, I hope you can see all these lovely, yummy roasted mushrooms. I'm using the liquid from these mushrooms as part of our soup, actually. And then, look over here, guys, an entire heaping pile of roasted chicken, right? It's a whole pile of roasted chicken. Um, in our oven, we have more protein going. I don't know if you can see in the oven, guys, but we have pork chops in our oven. Wait for it, wait for it. Look at this. Look at those onions, right? Now look at the color. Okay, you see that color? That color is beautiful. We want more of this color before we put in a liquid. Because when you get that color, you get flavor. Oh, I hope you don't get vertigo, guys. We're just going everywhere. There we go. I'm just gonna keep 1 or 2 more minutes for this onion stew. Yeah, I'm gonna 2 more minutes for this onion stew. Oh, sorry. Now dumplings. Because I'm in this kitchen where I don't have things that I'm used to, I'll make it an option for you to have a good look. But I'm just gonna keep swimming, all right? Sometimes, yeah, sometimes things don't do exactly what we want them to do, but we still just gotta keep swimming. Sometimes people don't do exactly what we think they're gonna do, but still have to keep swimming. I just like
Yeah, it's
that.
always good to be adaptable because you never know what's going to
We
happen.
had to learn that about the coronavirus, didn't we? We had to learn that, the things we were necessarily accustomed to weren't actually something we could, we weren't going to be able to live without, right? We had to get accustomed to being uncomfortable a little bit. All right, you got the color on our onion. Blah, blah, blah. There's our color. Yeah. All right, so I got color on our onions. I have about an onion and a half. So I'm going to use about a cup and a half of liquid. And this is the cooking, this is the liquid off those mushrooms that I cooked. And it's a package of, like a 16-ounce package of button mushrooms that I've cut into quarters to add as part of roast vegetables for. And then it's about an 8-ounce package of baby portobello mushrooms that I quartered. So, and then I just had some, when you roast chicken, you get a little bit of, a little juice off them, right? So I added that to there, and I'm using it like stock. So I take and I pour it in, and it comes to roughly about a cup and a half of flour. No, wait. All right, guys. We're gonna do that thing again. Oh, we're fine. See, look at the color in here already.
Ooh,
The
that's
color
looking
in
really
here.
good.
Exactly, right? If you start with something yummy like that, you get yummy results. I also have more chicken stock in the fridge that we're gonna put in there. Or we could put in there, but because I'm making a very small batch, I'm making a very small, really healthy batch of that. Not a big deal, not a biggie. As you can see, as I go along, I'll have things that I made a little bit more of. You remember that sauteed bell peppers and onions that I had that was put in our dumplings? So another thing on my menu this week is ground turkey. And it's like a ground turkey meatloaf. Well, hey, Sarah. Sometimes things aren't exactly as we expect. We've covered this over and over again. Things not gonna work how we hope all the time. We're gonna use ground beef because for whatever reason today, in the movement of one kitchen to another, so we've got ground beef. We have our veggies. And I've given you guys this recipe before. It's my mom's. My mom's minus a few things. It's a very simple meatloaf. It's a really good one. But as you can see, what happens when you meal prep is you use one thing in several ways. You rotate things in as you go. You rotate things in as you go, in and out of your oven, and often on your stove top. And you don't, the most important thing is that I don't tie myself to an idea of perfection with my meal prep stuff. I don't tie myself an idea of perfection that, it's only acceptable if it's perfect, ever. I work very hard to make sure that it's very good and it tastes very good, but in life and in food sometimes, and what I guess a lot of people seem to get stuck on is we have to remember that we gotta give ourselves grace, right? All right, so we've got our soup. Our soup is cooking down. It's gonna take, oh, look at all that. Our soup is going to take, because it has gone through and gotten all the good sticky bits of onion. All right, we're gonna.
Uh-oh, we've lost Cheryl again. I'm sorry about that. I guess there's some kind of connection on the camera. Hopefully she'll be back in just a second. Sorry. Oh, there she is. So let's add her back.
I'm so not surprised that I'm in the country and this is not working great. So here we go. Pan over. Look, okay. Look at the color of our soup.
Yes, that looks very nice and brown. Yes.
All right, so check out the color of our soup again. You got to stop doing that. Apparently, it's not working well for us. Okay, so maybe next month I won't be here. I'll be in the church again, which is the thing about life, right? You don't always get to call what happened, no matter if you want to. All right.
Yeah, it's kind of like you were talking about the hamburger, and you may not have been able to find ground turkey at the store, so you've got to be adaptable and just do what you can.
All right, so look at our dumpling, right? Look at the color on our dumpling. Our dumplings are about this size, which is actually only like 2 or 3 ounces. And our dumpling is going to get to this color, but because we're going to warm them up, I try not to overcook them. I don't cook them any longer because of their size than about 5 minutes, okay? You don't want little hockey puck dumplings, right? No, we want that. Nope, no, we want that. Let's see. All right. So while our soup and stuff is going, we can talk about the things that I've already finished. Now, today I started with the breakfast option. And this client, she works really long hours. She works really hard, and she's a really sweet lady. But that means that she might be in this building for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So for her breakfast options, I make sure she's got plenty of protein. Let me see here on the camera. Oh, look at that. Okay. You see these little cookies right? All right. So this is my crustless quiche. I make several variations of the crustless quiche. So good. It's so good. And then I've got apple with smoked bacon. And then this really great apple chicken sausage.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good. That'd be amazing to have your breakfast already ready, and here you go.
So that's one of those things that, the friends benefit from, right? That's it. Oh, I'm just bring you goodies. I'm just going to bring you goodies from everywhere. All right. So I also made sure she's got all kinds of fruit to snack on. You know how you want sugar at a certain point in your day? If you've already got fruit hanging out your fridge, you've got your little bit of sugar without getting a whole bunch of calories. I'm going to call those good. I'm going to let them sit for just a second, and then I'm going to show you my result. And these are things that I made just for this client. She's my first client who's gotten this kind of meal prep. So this is her overnight oatmeal, and it has cinnamon apples on top. It has Greek yogurt in it, a little bit of skim milk, and then on our side we have granola, so that even if you need a little crunch, you got a little extra crunch, you got a little extra satisfaction there in the morning. So next week we'll have chia in it, right? And then her other thing that she really loves and that I made a bunch of for her and her daughter are these little parfait containers, right? So it's got Greek yogurt, the berries, and a little bit of granola. And she can have those to help start her day, or during the middle of her day, she wants something sweet. So she stays on her diet, and so she feels full and she doesn't feel like she's denying herself anything.
Yeah, no, that's the bad thing when you're trying to watch what you eat and you're busy. It's really bad to run to the drive-through. That's a great service you provide. People can eat better.
All right, so let's talk about a salad. Okay, a million people in this world tell me that you can't eat a salad and be satisfied. Okay, not like. I don't think we've hung out yet, me and you. That person who thinks you can't eat a salad and be satisfied and have enough to eat and everything. Me and you haven't hung out yet, but we're gonna be okay, right? The assumption that you have that you can't have a salad and be satisfied. I laugh at your assumption. All right, so these meal prep containers, not hard to find. You find them at Walmart. They are not the most expensive meal containers, but I do have to go through quite a few of them. So there we go. Now, she sent me a picture that she wanted this particular salad, this particular way, right? So the cool part about me is I wish fulfillment. I wish fulfillment. You want to start something some way? That looks so good. Can I have that? I go, okay. And I try to make it happen for you. And because I spend so much time hanging out thinking about food and in grocery stores and stuff, I can find you variety in places you've never imagined. All right. So this one particular salad, what did I call this one? This one is an orange balsamic chicken salad. This is the first time I'm making it, or it's the first time I'm making a salad period in life, right?
Right.
So I chose, I know, right? All right, so I chose baby spinach is our base. Baby spinach is our base. Again, I find things at Walmart. I find things at Kroger. I do not go places you cannot go to find things. There is a salad mix that I use right here. It's called broccoli slaw, and it has shredded carrot, shredded broccoli, and shredded cabbage in it. All right, you got shredded goodies right there hanging out, and it's a very handy way to eat multiple different kinds of veggies and have different texture without a lot of effort. Now this cheese is a really yummy bit of cheese. All right, so we're gonna just take, I'm just gonna take and we're gonna make a little line of feta cheese right here for her next to those veggies, right? And we've already started to get a lot of color. You'll find a lot of what's hard about dieting is that you worry you're going to eat the same thing over and over again. It's the same color every day. you're looking at the same thing over and over again. That's not helpful, right? That's not what you want, right? So we've already got orange, and we've got greens, and we've got different flavors involved too. So what we're also gonna throw in is we can throw in, well, no, that wasn't the salad. We've got a couple different salads. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna actually toss. This is gonna be my base down here in the bottom. I actually toss a little more salad mix on top. I'm gonna toss a little line of my broccoli slaw. I'm gonna toss some more of that feta right across the top. And I'll show you here in just 1 second, so don't worry. I'm gonna take, I showed you one of my chicken breasts, right? I showed you chicken breasts that I've already cooked off. They've all been baked in the oven. Salt, pepper, a little bit of olive oil. Very, very tasty. Very, very healthy. Very, very simple. Not a big deal. I'm gonna make strips. And I'm gonna put about half of a breast over here to one side of our salad, because that's gonna be a very satisfying salad. Very, very. She's not gonna feel hungry. It's very important to me that my client is satisfied with all this work I'm putting in, and I want her to feel like she's getting what she paid for, and I want to feel like I'm doing what I'm paid for. It's kind of a big deal to me. It's called integrity, right? All right, so here is what our salad looks like. Can you see? I hope you can see. Well,
I love feta cheese and
right?
chicken and the vegetables. So you got, it's very nutritious.
Right. So what I made to go in the salad is a balsamic orange glaze that I could put on a bunch of chicken, or I thought it might just be enjoyable, and I found these little bitty mini cups at Walmart. And you can find all of these things. It's not, like I said, it's not impossible to find this stuff. I wouldn't do it to you. And I made a citrus. Oh Lord, I made a citrus balsamic. Oh Lord, you'll probably be able to see a little better in this container. I made a citrus balsamic, and it was something I came up with the other day, and it is very, very good. So I made a little citrus balsamic right here, and I'm gonna just lid it, and I'm gonna toss it in, and it's a fancy, smancy salad in the middle of Rising, Arkansas, made by a real for serious. Oh my gosh, look at me. I'm a private chef, right? It's all a big deal. It's all
I love that you're doing the dressing, because a lot of the bottle dressing you buy has a lot of sugar and preservatives and stuff in it.
Exactly.
And it's
yeah. Right. And I know exactly what's in that dressing and what I'm giving my client. I'm going to give her some of the bottled stuff because I know she'll like it. But with that orange balsamic, I wanted her to try it. So this client has a very good, I trust her opinion a lot. And if she tells me that's good, I'm going to know that's good, and I'm going to use it somewhere else, right? All right, so that's one of her salads. Her second salad. Again, this is just a spring mix that I found at Walmart or Kroger. Not a big deal. And I'm going to get a fistful of this bad boy. I'll put that in my container. And this one's going to be a little bit different. There we go. Nice and fluffy, right? Nice and fluffy. Each salad will be fluffy, so pretty. And take a good fistful of our mix right here. All right. Take a good fistful of our mix. I'm going to spread it down the middle right here. All right. And this salad with the spring mix had sesame chicken. So that was when I decided that I was going to take some of the chicken that I've already cooked, right? And I was going to add a little bit of sesame seed, a little toasted sesame seed, right? And I was going to take our chicken we've already cooked. I was going to use that sesame seed oil, pop, 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 toss it together, right? And then you have sesame chicken. So let me move something, not a biggie. Only a biggie because this is brand new kitchen. Here we go. So I haven't exactly got it all figured out. All right. We get to show you so much cool stuff in just a second. Let's see. We're turn the stove top back on. A little bit of that sesame. Again, utilize the things that you already have in your kitchen in more than one way. Save yourself a little bit of effort and get yourself a little more result that way, right? I'm all about trying to utilize what you're looking at in a productive way, trying to make something out of nothing, just like that. Always happens. I'm gonna let that warm up in that, coat it a little bit, and I'll show you the salad after I got it coated. This is a really cool thing. It is a combination of raisins, and cherries. And I use that in a couple of good places, but especially in a salad because it'll make your salad home. All right? It's going to make your salad different. It's going to give you just something. It's going to give you something a little extra in your salad to taste and enjoy. This particular one, I think I'm going to serve her for dinner. She'll be back later, and I'll serve her this one. And otherwise, I'm going to put it together a little differently, where I will probably make sure that I cool the chicken before it gets on the salad and whatnot. So right now, this one's a demo, but if you're going to have it for during the week, cool the chicken before it hits the salad, okay? Trust me.
That's good advice because I guess, you don't want to mix the hot and the cold.
Exactly. Otherwise, you have wilted salad. Not yum. All right, so let me get a couple containers and I'll show you what our soup looks like. Actually, the way that I differentiate between what is for her and for her family is that I do use the different containers. Her containers are these little black ones, and then her family gets clear. So let's take our French onion soup, which will be a treat on on how weird our days have been. And sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're cold. They're going back and forth on us. So we got French onion soup. Check that out. Now, if you want to get even more depth of flavor, you could cook that even longer. But because I had so little, it goes very quickly for me. Fringe benefit, really, that it just doesn't take that long. All right, here's my chicken that I have coated. Check that. Let's see, I got tongs. Got my chicken all coated up in this. With the yum. Good looks, right? Good looks. Yeah. Tell me you don't want to have that for dinner, right? Tell me that doesn't sound like a good week. All right. And now I'll grab the container for the, I'm going back and forth, guys, just bear with.
But I did like that idea about that way you can keep them straight between the kids and the adults and have the different colors. So that seemed to be a good idea.
It's something that this being my second week, I've just had to be very careful, and I'm just trying really hard to make a system because if there's not a system in place as we go along, but I want everyone to feel like they're included. I want their meals to feel special, right? I don't want them to think that they're not special. All right, so check these out. Our little pork dumpling, a little part, they're kind of patties right now, but that's okay. They're still gonna taste amazing, right? Um, for this client, I don't make anything sweet other than her breakfast stuff, which isn't even really sweet, right? It's fruit and stuff, and kind of kind of essential if you want to maintain weight or lose weight for you to think outside your box. And goodness knows, I think that she's one of the nicest, most beautiful people inside and out I've ever met. So if she wants it to work, I'm gonna figure it out. See, whatever she wants, we're gonna figure it out. One of the things I guess that I could show you is when I assemble a plate for her to eat during the week. Out of my assemblage, right? Because I've roasted off so many things, I've cooked off so many things that part of my stuff is just kind of standing still and assembling. All right, we've got for her, one of the days is just roasted veggies and chicken. So roasted veggies and chicken. We've got roasted mushrooms, right? I showed you those. Where are my tongs at? Oh, they're all coated. We'll not do that and say we did.
Sounds good.
We've got, all right. So we've got roasted veggies to the tune of our roasted, look at our roasted mushroom. I'm going to take some of my roasted sweet potatoes for a little starch, right? Toss a few of those really pretty roasted carrots in this box. All right, and look, just half that box. Think about it. Think about when you're hungry and you're looking at your options. That's half that whole box. You're not gonna look at it and say I'm gonna starve, right? You have half a box of goodies, and then there's even more. Wait for it.
Sorry, I was going to say, I know people that don't like vegetables, but I think your palate gets so used to the processed foods and the sugar added, and if you really start making changes, you'll love it.
That's what she's told me. Last week she sent me messages. She's like, the other day she said, "Oh, I had pizza and it was awful," and I'm just like, I guess I'm sorry, but I wasn't sorry. I'm not sorry. I want very much for her to be healthy and happy, and I enjoy working for her. So hey, I'm gonna make it awful hard for her to go back to eating fast food. All right, ta-da! See, look, this is a whole big old meal, and that just looking at that, when you look at it when you're going to lunch or something, is that not going to make you go, man, I got plenty of food, right? I'm going to be so full, right? Versus the general dietary thought that you can't eat anything, you have to lose weight by starving to death, and you're just not going to be satisfied ever. You can't think like that. You just can't. My own personal guilt, I have to admit, is sodas, and I love ice cream. I can give up sodas again, and I probably will before very long. But oh, y'all, I love ice cream. And when I deal with people, I have another family that I work for that I've seen them for a couple of months. Once a week I see them, and I cook supper for them for their week. And there's a young man who's also fluffy. Nothing wrong with it. And I looked at him and I said, you know what? It's all right to do that. You're a pretty great guy, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. A lot of people, especially, we're about to get to that point in the holidays and stuff, and then we're going to get to the beginning of the year, and people are going to be like, oh, I don't love myself. I don't look a certain way. I'm not a certain person. We can't go back to that. If anything, during this whole pandemic thing, what we needed to learn was how to love the people around us and form better relationships, and then how to love ourselves more. And that the value of every day is a very, very tangible thing, because we could have not had any more days, very, very simply, and still can. Just going about our regular routines, right? So give yourself some grace and give yourself some slack. And know that I'm not just talking to anybody at random, I'm talking to me too, right? I have another really great story that I'm going to tell you sometime about this quarantine stuff, about what it's taken for me to get from the point I was at the before this quarantine to right now. And people are going to say, oh, like, you're just so lucky. Oh, you just must have just walked right back into this stuff, and like it was just there, and you just got it like that. Well, no, this has been a process. This has been a thing. I call myself a private chef with a lot of distinction and pride. And I talk about how rare it is in Arkansas, not because there aren't amazing cooks and amazing chefs all over Arkansas, because there is so much talent in Arkansas. There's so much talent all over Arkansas. There's such amazing food in Arkansas. And I'm just this teeny weeny smidgen, right? But I'm y'all's teeny weeny smidgen. And and I really love feeding you. But this is the thing that makes me me. This is the thing that makes me interesting at all, I think, sometimes. But this is the thing that makes me want to go on and be successful and do life, is this. And I hope that even though these videos are not very perfect yet, we're having fun as we go, and I'm taking you places with me, and I'm doing different stuff with you, and you're getting to see my family, you're getting to see my interaction with the people that mean the most to me and stuff. That I hope you get to know me as a person, and I hope that, if you see me out, it's okay for you to say hi or something. Or if, like you visit my Facebook pages, my personal page, or my professional page at C. DeLong Chef. If you wanted to say hi, or you just wanted to see some of the cool work coming out of Lee County, right? Like, yeah, I totally grew up in Bryant. Yeah, I totally live in Benton. And anybody around, like, we're that cool, right? We're that cool. We got this.
Right.
I hope
Well,
that
yeah, I was gonna say, Cheryl, that
I
we
hope that,
appreciate
like, next
you.
time is more. Yeah. I hope
Yeah.
that next time's a little more organized again. But I keep saying that, and I don't think my world actually works that way. You guys
Well,
get a peek
sometimes,
into that, like.
yeah, the internet hasn't been cooperating much today, but we got it and got it done, and we really appreciate you showing us kind of what else you do. So I guess was there anything else you wanted to show, or is that pretty much it for this?
I think we're out of time.
Yeah.
And we have plenty of time. If anybody wants to ask any questions, if anybody wants to say anything, make sure next time that we're doing this, that if you want to ask anything, or you want to know any, or you like have a comment or something, let us know, so that, like, it's more interactive. Because, Becky's a pretty cool lady. She was one of my first bosses when I got out of high school. What
Right.
had happened was I kind of sort of thought I wanted to work in libraries, and then we all realized I'm a little noisy. We're all our own people, and I'm a little noisy. So, all right. So let me see. My chicken probably cooled down a little bit. And I'm gonna show you this finished salad before you pop out. Yep. There we go. Our chicken is cooled. And again, it's not that biggie. No biggie here. Not here. We don't make a big deal out of stuff. Not a biggie. Not that it's not good. It's just not a biggie. We put our chicken down the center here. Oh, we'll pour sesame seeds. And then, check that out, right? Ta-da!
Oh, that does
I
look
hope you
good.
enjoyed.
That looks
Right?
very filling. Yeah.
Looks filling, and I think it'll hit a lot of important taste bud stuff, right?
Yes.
Anyway, thanks for the visit, guys.
Well, Cheryl, really, thank you. We appreciate all that you do and sharing this with everybody. I feel like I've learned a lot, even whether it's from what kind of knives or how to cut your onions and different things like that. And I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you guys for the forum. And again, come on, you know, anything anybody wants to know, if you have a request for next, what you want to learn. I think we're probably going to do chili next time. We were going to do chili this time, and then guess what I was doing? So I just brought you with me. So maybe next
Right.
time we get our chili that I've ready, you know?
Chili
All
sounds
right.
wonderful.
Y'all take care. You hear?
All right. Thank you.
I'll see you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.